So here we are at our last breakout panel of the day, and we're going to talk about uh, how you can really find what skills you're good at and find the way that you can make money on Robux. So Brandon has been making money on Roblox for 10 years. I'm like, it's a long time. So he's going to walk you through what he did, and feel free to ask questions after. Thanks, Brandon.
All right, hey everyone. Like Victoria said, thank you for the introduction. My name is Brandon. I'm from the developer relations team here at Roblox. I've been on the platform for 10 years now. I joined when I was 11, back in 2008. So I've been to 5 Roblox summer conferences now, and this is by far the most amazing one I've seen. Um, so I'll be talking today about leveraging your skills that you learn from Roblox to make games and make revenue. So, like I said, my name is Brandon. I'm on the developer relations team. I'm an intern this summer. My username is Cowbear16. So, back originally when I joined with my brother. I'm a twin. Originally, we just started to, play Roblox just like everyone else before school when we had time, once we finished our homework and our parents would let us play. And that just developed and developed from, sort of how most developers start, where you use free models, you build a game, and just extrapolate on that until you can actually develop your own content. And over these years, I've been able to do some pretty amazing things that I never thought possible. Throughout my 10 years in the platform, I've been able to work on over 10 games in the platform. I still haven't had my breakout success yet, but I'm still iterating. I've been able to release 20 iPhone apps related to Roblox, and I've written 2 Roblox books on Lua programming. And I did these back when I was in high school. Right now, I'm a rising senior studying computer science at Boston College. I've been able to leverage these skills to release these apps, make these games, and write these books. And with the money that I've made from these ventures, I've been able to reinvest it in myself in some pretty cool ways. So during my time at college, I was actually able to uh, fund a field study that I went on to Ghana, and I was able to study entrepreneurship in sub-Saharan Africa. I was able to fund my way through an incubator at MIT where I learned the ins and out of entrepreneurship and launching a company. Um, I've just been able to do these things that without Roblox, without the doors that I've had opened, with my skills from Roblox, it would never have been possible before. So I'd like to just talk a little bit about that. My hope is that with some key takeaways and advice that I've learned from my 10 years on the platform, you can apply some of the same principles towards paving your own path to success. I'm from the community, and I'm here to answer all of your burning questions. So there will be time for Q&A at the end. If we don't have enough time, just find me around. I'll be here for the rest of the conference. All right, so the the path to success on Roblox isn't an easy one. It's going to take a lot of hard work. It's going to take a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. So the first thing to do is take a step back and recognize what's in front of you, right? So recognize the path that's in front of you, and you need to recognize opportunity. And the first thing about recognizing opportunity is understanding where you fit, both as a developer and in the game ecosystem itself. And when you're thinking about this, consider, right? Do you want to be a solo developer? Do you want to be a team member? Do you want to be a freelancer? What part of the Roblox world do you find yourself belonging in? And there's no right answer to this, and there's no commitment that you have to choose. One of the great things about the Roblox platform is you can always change what you want to do. There's the only person holding you to something is yourself. So don't be afraid. Just if you find that one thing doesn't work out for you, learn, rinse, and repeat. And so it's pretty amazing that throughout my 10 years on the platform, Roblox has actually become a viable option for a full-time career, right? When I first joined, this wasn't possible. There was no such concept of DevX. Now we have our top developers averaging $400,000 in the last 12 months. That's pretty amazing, right? So if you'd come up to me when I was 11 years old and told me that I could make a full-time career and I could pay my bills through the money that I'm making on Roblox, I would have thought you were crazy, but honestly, that's the reality now. And that's pretty insane. So, right, so I mentioned recognizing opportunity as a key part to finding a path to success in Roblox. And the crucial thing about this is recognizing that developing on Roblox is a business now. Developing on Roblox is something that, people are taking more and more seriously. And when you're thinking about a business, there's two things. There's two aspects to a business. There's the customer and there's the product. A willing customer and then there's the product. And you're lucky because Roblox brings you one of those two things. Roblox will bring you the willing customers, but with all of its users. Um, and the thing you have to do is you just have to use this to your advantage. You have to learn how to appeal to these customers, and in doing so, you need to identify a segment in the market where you can belong. So when you're thinking about the ideas for your next game, try not only to think about what you think is going to be fun, but think about what other people are going to want and be willing to play. So and when you're thinking about this, it's going to directly correlate to the level of success that you're going to find. Um, but first and foremost, you've got to pick up a project. You got to start somewhere. So and there's no cap to this, right? So you can start if you're not a strong developer, you can join a team. You can combine your skills with some other developers and make something that one person cannot do by themselves. But then once you get stronger, you can try freelancing. You can try making a game solo. And what I've found is that through my years on the platform, I've iterated. I have filled a bunch of different roles, but personally, I'll either develop with my brother or I'll just go solo. And right now, I'm actually working on a game with my brother. So let's take another step backwards. Before understanding the opportunity, you need to understand yourself a little bit. You need to understand you need to understand your self-worth, right? And there's no other person that can do this except for you. So think about what skills do you bring to the table? How do those skills stack up against other developers in the community? And how do those skills play in, no matter what role or team, to the project that you're going to be working on? And when you're thinking about this, like I said, there's no commitment. You can choose one thing and then change your mind later. But throughout all of this, remember that time is money. So no matter what you're doing, whether it be learning on the platform or whether it be directly monetizing your time through freelancing, make sure that you're doing the best and making the most of the time that you spend. And you're going to see yourself grow if you do that. So another aspect that I've actually found rather challenging and something that I've taken away is failing fast and failing often. And one aspect of that is don't put all of your eggs in one basket. I've definitely had these moments where I was working on a big project and I got so caught up in that project that I missed a bunch of other opportunities. So if you find yourself caught up in one thing, you're going to miss, in one failure, you're going to miss so many potential successes. For example, so I joined back in 2008. Throughout my 10 years in the platform, I've done quite a few things. My first taste of success was a game I made called Canyon Obby, which hit the first page back in 2012, and I thought it was amazing because I had 20,000 visits. If you have 20,000 visits now, that's probably how many concurrent users you should have, right? So I thought I had a taste for success, but I didn't have any traction, and it fell off after like 2 days, right? So that wasn't any success for me. But I picked it up. I kept going, and then I made another attempt at success. I worked with a developer who at the time had maybe 1 million visits a few months after my canyon hobby, and we tried to make a racing game. But even with a powerful dev and a powerful name, we didn't find success. So I kept going. Um, Another thing that I have is I have the 99th group ever created on Roblox. I thought that that would help, but no traction there. I mean, applications are still open if you want to join. Super Robloxian Corporation, go ahead. um, but I've also, throughout these failures, I've had some successes, and I've only had these successes because of the failures, honestly. So some of my successes have been, as I mentioned, I've written 2 Roblox programming books, and I've developed over 20 iPhone apps about Roblox. And my iPhone apps have 750,000 downloads worldwide, and my books have 10,000 sales worldwide. And it's a really amazing experience to have these kids emailing me monthly and saying, "Hey, I used your book on a school project, and I got an A." I mean, that's so cool, and it's kind of like just a testament to the power of creation, especially with the things that you can make on the Roblox platform. And honestly, I'm still keeping forward. Still trying to stay on top of the game. So one of the things that is still up in the air for me is I'm working on a new game. I'm working on a game with my brother called Flooptopia. We had a soft launch and it didn't go so well. So we're bringing things back to the table, and we're still trying to learn. But at the same time, we're trying to do some innovative things. It's the first game to have a mobile companion app on the platform, and I'm trying to learn from all of my past successes, which are the apps. I'm trying to apply that to things that I'm familiar with, which is Roblox. On top of not putting all of your eggs in one basket, it's important to diversify what you're working on. And what I mean by diversifying what you're working on is try to keep your skills fresh. So if you're working on a project for a long time, I found it really important to have a bunch of side projects so that you're not trapped within a bubble, and you're always keeping yourself sharp. So, for example, the game that I'm working on right now with my brother that I just mentioned, we've been working on it for a year and a half now, but it hasn't stopped me from having a few things every month that I'll just hack together for a day, right? I'll hack together some NPC feature. I'll have to hack together a module script, and sometimes I've even found that I'm able to actually apply it to the project that I'm working on. And these ideas just come from writing everything that I think about down. And that really goes with the spirit of, on Roblox, you can experiment and you can do really anything. So on top of diversifying, try to be realistic. It's important to know when you how much time you spent on a project, and it's important to know when to ask for help. We have an amazing community on Roblox. We've got the dev forums and we've got the dev hub. Please don't feel afraid to ask for help, and this is something that I've definitely done throughout the years. We have some passionate community members who definitely will answer questions, but it's also important to recognize when you might need to take a step back and put a project on the back burner, and just come back when you've learned a little bit more, had some other experiences. And I've done this plenty of times, right? So, for example, the game that I'm working on right now, I said we did a soft launch. We did a soft launch in February, and our dislike ratio was like twice as many dislikes as it was likes. So we were like, oh no, something went wrong. So we went back to the drawing board, and we're taking the feedback we got, and we're applying it. But we also had to take a step backwards for a little bit and disassociate ourselves so that we would come in with a fresh mind. But as important as it is to stay realistic, it's also really important to push your limits. And this is something that you got to stay hopeful. Sometimes it'll seem like a long process, a lot of hard work with little payoff, but just dream big. So, for example, how many of you have had a successful game launch on your first attempt? How many of you have hit the first page? Okay, well, we've got one, maybe one and a half max. So that's a very very small percentage of people who have been successful on their first attempt. But if you just keep iterating, you never know where you're gonna get to, and you never know where you're gonna grow to. But if you put yourself down by one failure, you're not gonna succeed. You just gotta keep trying. For example, the Treasure Hunt Simulator by Henry Dev. Henry Dev has shared that, you know, he made countless games before this project, and if he had given up after his first or second game, he wouldn't have finally had a breakout success with his Treasure Hunt Simulator. And it's also important to keep learning. And this was one of the biggest things that I've uh, taken away from my experience here on Roblox. And one of the reasons that I wrote my 2 books on Roblox was to help other people keep learning. And one of the reasons that I invested my earnings in myself to go to Ghana or go to this MIT entrepreneurial program is to keep my learning process moving. But on the Roblox platform, we have some amazing resources. So use the dev forums, use the dev hub or the wiki, and stay on top of the curve. Because if you stay on top of the curve, whenever a new feature comes out, you'll be able to implement into your game, and users will think that's really cool. And you'll be able to try out all these new things that are constantly changing. Also remember that success comes in many sizes. You don't have to be the strongest developer to release an amazing game. If you're not the strongest developer, join a team. There's nothing holding you back from being the next Treasure Hunt Simulator, right? It doesn't matter the size and the skill level that you have right now. If you keep applying yourself and keep learning, you're gonna grow, and even just seeing yourself grow is so rewarding. And first and foremost, if you're doing what you love and trying to enjoy the ride, it's gonna be an amazing experience. So I've done some cool things throughout my time here, and I hope you do that too. Even just as a player, I've gone from making apps with Alex Neutron. I still have some iPhone apps in my app account with Alex Neutron, or developing roller coasters with Asimo with my brother. Just these cool things and these amazing people that I've met and these amazing memories that I've created that I never would have thought possible. So if you hang on for the ride, enjoy the ride, and you're gonna have a great time. That's it.